I was finishing my workout and setting up for a live coaching call that I have with someone this afternoon, and I thought, well, I might as well film this information for people because it's something that I saw, I don't know how many times this week in technique videos that people sent me. So it's obviously an issue that people are having, and I'm sure other people are having it and not sending me technique videos, so I don't know they're having it. So I thought I would make the video and address it, and hopefully it can help out more than one person. So what I want to talk about is your deadlift setup and the mindset that you're using when you're going into deadlifting. That mindset being, of course, when people have a bar in their hands, automatically the thought is you're lifting, you're pulling with your upper body, and that's just the way it is. Whenever you have something in your hands, people are going to think that. Unfortunately, you need to start thinking about your deadlifts as leg presses more so than back pulls. Your back, you should be focusing more on getting it rigid and tight, engaging your lats, and then the fact that your back goes to vertical is not because of you pulling with your back and lifting with your back. It's the hips coming through and the back being tight. Because the back is tight and the lats are engaged, and I'll show at the end of the video, I'm going to do just a regular deadlift with some weight on it just to show what I mean about engaging the lats, because a lot of people don't do that, and that doesn't allow their back to stay as rigid as they need. So once your body is in that position, it's about pushing with your legs. Pushing, and this stands up because of your legs, not because of what you're doing with your back. So another thing that can make people set up, or something that people are setting up that's starting them off wrong right from the start, they don't have a chance of doing it right, is whether they've been told this or they came to it themselves, where they line up with their feet or their shins right against the bar. And I'm sure that people have been told that, but it's wrong, because when you set up, I'm doing it back here away from the bar so that you can actually see. But if the bar was touching my shins and then you bend over and your shins are completely straight here, well, your shoulders are going to be about the same height as your hips. And because your shins are already straight, you cannot effectively push into the floor. You're losing all of that push off the floor with your quads. So the bar needs to be a couple inches away, depending on the person, but so that when you come down, if you had the bar in your hand, you come down, this is how far I can push my hips back. So anything from here down to the bar needs to be knee flexion. If it's not, you're not going to be able to push the bar off the ground with your quads, and you're going to be putting a lot more strain on your lower back. So when people are complaining of lower back pain from deadlifts, oh, deadlifts hurt my back. Well, I'm sure the way you're doing deadlifts does hurt your back, but it's not the deadlifts that are hurting your back. You're doing kind of a poor version of a Romanian deadlift or a stiff leg deadlift, which is not the idea. You're probably using weight. If you were using that exercise, you're probably using way too much weight to be doing it. So before this gets too long, you need to be thinking about pushing off the ground, and you cannot do that if you do not have some forward knee flexion. So the part that I was going to talk about with the lat engagement, it's very hard to show without a little bit of weight on the bar. And yes, I do use straps. It's another thing that for some people, they really have a hard time getting their mind around, but because especially for reps, I don't want my grip to be the weak link. My grip is not weak, and doing an alternating grip starts to bother my shoulder, especially with reps. So I pretty much use straps for all my sets, and then coming into a competition, I'll start not using them for a couple of weeks, but I've never dropped a bar in a competition. But getting back to what we were talking about. So when I set myself up, I'll wrap up first here. And now you can't really see it because of the plates. But when I'm set up here, getting myself set, I have my shins at least That's at least a couple inches from the bar. But when I go to set myself to pull or to push, now my shins are touching the bar. Notice how my back has come and my arms, this angle in my armpits has narrowed, and my shoulders have come down and back, not shrugged up and not shrugged back, trying to arc my back. It's like I'm trying to put my shoulder blades in my back pockets. So what that looks like is I get myself set, I go down to the bar, my shoulder blades contract or retract, and my lats are engaged. Now all I think about from that position is pushing through the floor and keeping the bar close to my body. So it looks like this. Now on that lift, the bar never left my shins, but my shins were not straight until I got to the bottom of my knees. Now this is where you come through with your hips. If you're coming through with your hips from here because your shins are straight, from here to here is all lower back, and it's gonna hurt. So hope this little bit of advice helps you out. Send me questions about this or anything else, and I'll talk to you again soon.